Hi guys and welcome to my brand new channel Voice of Mix. I'm starting this channel because I really love to talk about business, management and people topics. Hopefully these short videos will give you a lot of insight while you study or if you are working as a professional. So just a little bit about me. I'm an MBA who has done his majors in human resources and minors in international business, and hopefully you'll get to learn a lot of things and I in return will get to learn a lot of things. So thanks a lot and let's get started. Today I'm going to cover a topic known as Howard Business Model 1984. So when you first hear the word 1984, what thing should come in your mind is that there's a famous book by George Orwell, 1984. For those of you who have not read it, I'll suggest you go and read it because for any management guy, it's a very important book to read. Why? Because it doesn't just talk about today's world, it also talks about a lot of creative and a lot of management style that people have. So you got to read it. Just go ahead and read it. I'll recommend that. So the Howard business model came out in 1984 by a one bunch of very talented guys, and it basically elaborates the HR structure or an HR model at work. So let's just jump into it and find out more details. All right. Now, the model talks about certain basic influences in a company's HR practices. They could be both internal and external in nature. So let's take them on one by one. When I talk about external influences, they could be things like labor market, economic conditions, or the technology platform that the company is operating on. And when I talk about internal influences, they could be things like employee morale or the unions, the management style, and the business strategy that a company follows. Now, moving forward, remember one of the basics and the most important influencers on HR is the business strategy that a company follows. Why? Because the business strategy is one thing where the entire leadership of the company is involved. And once they decide the business strategy moving forward, everything else has to be aligned to the business strategy. So even the HR practices of a company will be heavily influenced by the business strategy it follows. Next, the model really talks about four themes. These four themes include workflows, reward system, employee influences, and work systems. So when I talk about HR flows, they are things like talent acquisition and separation process. They are more activities that run daily in an HR function. Reward system, they are things like performance appraisal, pay and perks. So these things can be reviewed maybe once a year, but are not really daily affair. Thirdly would be the employee influences. So things like hierarchy and delegation. So if you're a practicing HR professional, you would really understand how the hierarchy affects the HR functioning in on its day-to-day basis. Fourthly would be the work system. So these are things like JDs and your alignments to the business. So they are more fixed towards the functioning of a company. Now the model also talks about four C's. These are very important four C's. So let us examine them one by one. The first is commitment. So any policy or program must influence employee commitment towards the company goals. If it fails to get employee commitment, that policy or program should be erased from the system because it doesn't really deliver anything. Second is competency. Now it's very easy to attract competencies or competent people these days. The reason for that is you can always give higher pay packages and attract people. The difficult part is trying to develop them, and the hardest part is trying to retain them. So that's where you need to focus. Thirdly is cost effectiveness. I won't really pay a lot of attention in that direction because wages and salaries are things that will always be there. So maybe a little up or a little down wouldn't really hurt you until and unless your overall business is in a bad shape. So we can leave cost effectiveness. Next is congruence. Now, this is another important point. Most of the companies, what you find is that there is a lot of pitch patch work. So you've got policies that are about 10 years old and you have got policies that are like 1 month old. So these pitch pad sort of a work doesn't really work. So what you need to do is have a framework where all your policies are updated regularly and where all the policies are aligned to each other, like in a stages. And you shouldn't have policies that have nothing to do with each other but are just there to make some people happy. So you've got to understand that and have a lot of congruence in your policies. So thanks for watching, guys. And before I leave you, there were two important things that happened that year. So first one was the Bhopal Union Carbonite tragedy, and the second was Apple Macintosh commercial. So if you guys haven't seen that commercial, I'll recommend you go and watch it out. So you'll really understand the kind of marketing and sales Apple was into in those days. So thanks a lot. And before I leave you, I'll give you an awesome song that was released that year. So hope you guys enjoy that and let me know my feedback too. So thanks a lot.